Here we go. Sweet. What's up, everybody? Jack here. And today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about marketing, because I've been studying Facebook marketing and YouTube advertising, and I've come to some conclusions and learned a lot about it that I want to share with everybody. And then after I finish talking about that, then we'll proceed to talking to the group and seeing how everyone's tasks did and helping everybody figure out what their tasks are for next week. If you are new to this series, it is a weekly mastermind live stream that meets every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And the premise is that we just talk and we figure out one thing that we can do that's going to get us closer to where we want to be, or what we want to work on, or who we want to become, or what business we want to have, okay? And then the next week, we talk about that one thing that we determined. And that's it. It's really simple. Anybody can join. You just have to be able to talk in front of other people. And that's it. So if you're interested in joining, you can look in the description of this video and find a link to a Discord channel. Once you join this Discord channel, you will receive notifications every time the group goes live, and I will also use it to communicate about other things. I use the Discord channel to take notes about whatever it is that I'm personally currently working on, so I try and do that in a way that's publicly accessible. So if you guys are interested in whatever I happen to be working on that week, you can go look at my notes and learn from it as well. Okay? So let me open the YouTube live stream page real quick. I actually charged my phone this time so I can look at people's comments. Last time my phone was dead, so I had to ask other people to read the comments to me. Awesome. All right, M&A is here. Ayush is here, and Phil Yabai. What is up? 1 a.m. Tokyo time. That's super late. I guess 1 a.m. isn't crazy late. 3 a.m. is probably ridiculously late, right? I haven't stayed up till 1 since last night. I'm just going to look over these real quick. Ayush says, "Hi, bro. I just purchased your course from Udemy about eBay dropshipping." Awesome. I actually have a question for you, because this month a bunch of people purchased that course, and I'm happy about it, but I'm confused. I don't know why suddenly double the amount of people are purchasing my Udemy dropshipping course. Especially because I don't dropship anymore, and I haven't done it in a while. I haven't done any content about dropshipping, but just suddenly, boom, I'm getting a bunch of people setting up consulting calls with me about Udemy and course creation and this kind of thing, and also a bunch of people buying my dropshipping course. And I'm happy about it. This is great, but I have no idea where their stuff's coming from. Well, probably something to do with YouTube. That's what's kind of funny about running YouTube videos, is that you make so many of them that it becomes kind of hard to track what is causing what to happen. And especially in my case, I've made over 1,000 YouTube videos. So sometimes there's situations where a YouTube video gets shared with a specific group and then suddenly starts getting way more views than it was getting before. And that causes me to get multiple leads in a specific circumstance, right? Like if somebody shares a dropshipping video that I did with a bunch of new people who've never heard about it before, then this usually causes a spike in people looking at my course and that kind of stuff, right? So it's interesting. But anyway, I'm glad that you got it. That's pretty awesome. Ayush says, because Udemy has reduced their prices and dropshipping is now trending in India. Cool. I didn't realize maybe Udemy reduced their prices in India? Because as far as I know, Udemy is basically almost always a marketplace where you can get courses for 10 to 20 bucks. Like my dropshipping course is $200, but it's never sold for that much. The most it's ever sold for, I think, was like $110 like once, and like $80 like twice. But most of the time it sells for between 10 and 20 bucks. But so you asked the question, is it still worth it? Like, is dropshipping still worth it? And this completely depends on what you're trying to do with your life. Me personally, I stopped dropshipping because I didn't need to dropship anymore. When I started dropshipping, it was because I wanted to become a self-employed person. I wanted to be able to set up my own schedule. I wanted to be able to work my own hours. I wanted to be able to sleep when I wanted to sleep and work when I wanted to work, and have the freedom and flexibility to change my plans if a friend reached out and wanted to do something. I wanted to be able to be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll just do this thing tomorrow instead of now. You know, I wanted that a lot. And dropshipping was the first way for me to acquire that. But it wasn't the only way I was earning money. I was earning money through courses, through the YouTube channel, and now through consulting. And in the beginning, it was just a dropshipping course. But now I have multiple other courses that are also earning me money. And I want to continue making more courses and doing more of the consulting and all this kind of work. So for me, it got to a point where once I got banned for dropshipping, I didn't need to do it anymore. I wasn't working at Starbucks. I wasn't doing work I didn't enjoy anymore, and I had other things going on. And dropshipping is quite unstable. It's easy, or relatively easy, to earn a decent amount of money dropshipping in 1 to 3 months, but the chance of you continuously earning that same amount of money reliably and regularly over the upcoming years is quite unlikely, simply because things are always changing with the industry. But that, in its way, is how the industry of dropshipping stays the same. A lot of people think that, oh, in this year, this changed, and that caused dropshipping to not be a thing. But the reality is, at some point, you hear about dropshipping, you last a couple years into it, and then you think that some change made it not happen anymore and not be an opportunity. That's the life cycle that all the people who learn about dropshipping go through. But it's the same life cycle if you learn about dropshipping in 2010, or 2015, or 2020. You see what I'm saying? It is true that things are always changing, but it, as an opportunity, is pretty much always there. It's a stepping stone to another lifestyle, but it's not something that you should rely on to keep you in that lifestyle. Dropshipping is a bit like it's a bit like investing or dealing with cryptocurrency or something. You can put money into it and you can earn money from it, but you should never think that you can rely on that money coming in regularly. You shouldn't think that just because you've earned $2,000 this month from dropshipping, that means that you can count on dropshipping supplying for you and your family. That's not something you want to rely on. However, imagine that you're dropshipping, you're also selling dropshipping information, you're also doing consulting, you're also selling things that are digital products that aren't directly related to dropshipping as well. If you're also doing that, yeah, it's a bit more reliable, absolutely. You can't have one income stream. You need to have at least 7 or 8, really, realistically. 3 is a good goal in the beginning, but you want to have as many different income streams as possible. You're going to be better off and stable if you have 10 small income streams than if you have one big one. Because if you rely on one, even if you're doing really well, like you're earning $5,000, $10,000 a month, you know what happens most of the time when people get in that scenario? If they suddenly start earning more money, they also suddenly start spending more money. And there's countless tales of people who've gotten into this situation, they've earned more money, they've spent most of it, the opportunity dried up, and then at the end of the day, they're pretty much the same position they were in the beginning. You really want to focus on stability and having a lot of different income streams. And that's why I personally don't dropship anymore. I also find dropshipping to be quite boring. I used to be able to do it because I was doing ridiculous, crazy stuff because I didn't care about my life. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I just needed things to change. So I was just being reckless on YouTube, doing crazy stuff, trying to get attention. And it totally worked, but I didn't know it was going to work at the time. And now I don't want to take those intense risks. So the work that I have available to do for dropshipping just isn't as interesting to me. It's kind of boring. But that being said, it's still a great opportunity for people as a stepping stone to get out of whatever life you have now and into what life you want. It's also a doorway to online income. A lot of people start off with dropshipping and then they learn about other things like consulting and affiliate marketing and all that stuff. So just food for thought. I'm going to look at the comments one more time and then I will get into talking about marketing. All right, sweet. No more comments. So let me give you a little bit of backstory real quick. I have been studying marketing because in the world of online income, I believe that there is a law that determines how money is made. No matter what business you have, whether you're working for somebody online or you are making your own business or you're a physical business using the internet to earn money, if you're earning money, then that means one thing is true. That means you have traffic and you have a product, okay? A product could be a service. It could be something physical. This is a product. This mouse is a product. But also, this live stream is a product. My course is a product. Consulting is a product. The act of calling somebody is a product. Almost anything can be a product because it doesn't have to be something physical like this. It could be something digital. And in fact, you want it to be something digital. Because if I was selling these pencils, every time I sold one, I'd have to make another frickin' pencil. You don't have to do that with courses. You can make a course once and sell it again and again and again and again. It's just like infinite. So digital products are really, really, really powerful for that reason, right? And again, it's not just about having your products. You also need to have traffic, because even if you have a good product, if you don't have anybody looking at that product, potential buyers coming to engage with the product, well, there's no way you're going to sell any of it. So that's why you also need traffic. And ultimately, most people pay to have traffic. If you want to be in the most powerful position on the internet, where you earn the most money for the least amount of time, you want to be a person who can give other people traffic. That is the higher up, high tier of individuals on the internet, because there's tons of products. There's an infinite amount of different physical products that people make, and digital services and courses and all these things. More people are making these than are able to bring traffic. If you want to be in a position where you have a high competitive advantage over most people, get good at bringing traffic to things, because this is the thing that most people struggle with. This is marketing, right? So for me personally, I've been trying to figure out, how can I create more services where I'm more useful to people, given what I understand as my competitive advantages and what I'm trying to do with my life, right? So that's one of the reasons I've been studying marketing, because I want to understand, how can I bring traffic to other people so that I can be paid to bring traffic to other people's products, and I can bring traffic to my own products for free. That's the goal, right? I want to do both these things. I want to be able to market my own stuff without spending any money, because if you have a digital product and you have free traffic, boom, that is super effective money. You barely need to work at all. It's amazing. You can just spend like 100 hours in the past and then have regular monthly income from that. I mean, honestly, imagine 100 hours that you spent watching TV or doing something else, and just say that you had replaced it with creating an online digital product and set up some way for traffic to interact with that product. You could be getting $50 a month. Or if you're lucky, 500 or 5,000, like, you know. But 50 is more realistic. When you start in the beginning with these things, you shouldn't expect it's just going to suddenly happen. You're going to change your life. People go to school for like 4 years to get degrees, to get jobs. You should apply the same reasoning to your online income world. It's probably going to take you between 2 and 4 years to really get to a point that you feel more confident about earning money online and how exactly you're going to do it relevant to you, okay? But whatever it is, it's going to have these two features. You're going to have products and you're going to have traffic. And you want to be someone giving off traffic, right? So now you guys understand that's why I've been studying marketing. And at first I thought, okay, well, I can make a bunch of YouTube videos. I make YouTube videos super fast. It's super cool, super fun, super easy, right? So how can I make money making videos? So I started by doing ads on YouTube. However, I've come to a lot of conclusions about how advertising works and how the circumstance of marketing is. And in the beginning, I was thinking, I need to learn how to spend money to push products. That's the approach I was taking. But now I understand that in most cases, if you're an online worker like me, you're one person, you don't want to spend any money marketing. The world of advertising things on Facebook and advertising things on YouTube and paying for it is a world that's more catered to bigger entities and companies with higher budgets. The reality is there are plenty of ways that you can effectively market without paying anything. And there's a simple strategy that you can use to understand all of these different ways, okay? So I'm going to switch real quick to sharing my screen, if I remember how to do that in Zoom. Record? No. Oh, no, I don't need to share my screen. I can just move it because I'm live streaming it. That's right. So what I'm going to show you now is an example of how you can use free marketing strategies. Because the more courses I take about marketing, the more I understand that this is what it boils down to. It doesn't boil down to your ability to create an effective paid Facebook marketing campaign or a Google AdSense campaign. It boils down to your ability to market things for free, okay? So there's one thing I want to get at before I show you an example. You can't just post your links places. If the first thing people can see is that you're selling something, they don't give a crap about you. You got to understand, people, especially people in my generation and people younger, we have been marketed to our entire frickin' lives. We know instantly when somebody is trying to sell us something, and we don't give a fuck. A part of our head just tells them to screw off. We don't trust them at all. Whereas 50, 60 years ago, you used to just be able to market shit and people would be like, oh, okay, we're going to trust you because we don't know about marketing. We haven't been played by it our entire lives, right? Whereas newer generations have been. So it's not as simple. You can't just show a product and expect people are going to buy it. You have to build a reputation. You have to be useful, okay? So I really want you to understand that before I get too much further into this, because a lot of people have courses and products and they just paste their links on other YouTube channels and other crap. And you want to see what happens when you do that? This is literally what happens. I'm going to go to YouTube Studio and I'm going to go to comments. And I'm going to show you the likely spam section. You know how many people consider this part of their marketing strategy? They go to YouTube videos and they post comments with links regularly. They spend time doing this. And you know what happens? The comments don't even show up on the videos because YouTube marks all of them as spam, and the creator has to actually manually click on them and approve them for them to even show up. There are so many people using bullshit like this that literally can't work because they are posting things that don't even get seen by people. That's like me writing a link on this notepad and putting it on my desk and thinking that it's going to get traffic on the internet. It doesn't work. You cannot just share stuff. And you also can't just go to Facebook and then go to groups and then just post crap. Because people don't give a crap about you. They don't know who you are. They don't trust you. They're not going to just go to some link that you started off by it obviously being something you're trying to sell, okay? And I'm starting off with this marketing stuff because I want you guys to understand you can't just share links. You cannot just share stuff. That shouldn't be your approach. It's nice for you to think that all it takes is just sharing a link and putting it out there and then people can interact with your product. But that's not the reality. Maybe you think that someone's out there and then they see your link and they click on it and buy your product. That's not what happens. When people actually end up buying your product, it's not because they saw your link once. It's because they know your name for some reason because they've seen you somewhere else at some point. They've already interacted with you once or twice. They see an ad that you're interested in some kind of product. They interact with you again. They think about you again at that point, and then they go back and watch another video that you've made at some point about something useful. And then at this point, they're a couple interactions deep in you, and then they move forward and purchase something from you. Your focus should be on setting up as many places online that you can be useful to people as possible, not on sharing your links or your products. You have to set up tons of doorways, tons of portals online where you are fixing people's problems. This causes them to trust you, to interact with you, to want to engage with you. And that's the point where they may move forward and interact with your product. So it is important that you're talking about your products regularly, but it's also really important that you're not just shoving them in people's faces. You can't just share stuff online, just sharing download links, and just sharing direct links to channels and YouTube videos, and think that that's going to work, okay? But, okay, now you might be saying, okay, if I can't do that, what can I do? How do I do this? Jack, you're a YouTuber. You have all these videos. You already have that advantage. I don't have that. How do I make that happen? How do I put myself out there so that I can be useful to people? How do I do these things? That's where forums, Quora, and all the rest of the internet come in, okay? This is what you do, all right? Let's use Quora because it's the easiest example to talk about in this case. Quora is a forum, basically. It's a bunch of questions about stuff, all right? And they vary a lot. And you can basically just go to Quora and answer people's questions, okay? So these are really random. Like, look at this. I just found out my 16-year-old daughter is planning to get pregnant. Whoa! I didn't realize that. I thought it is pregnant. Well, I feel like that's less of a problem. I'd be more concerned if my 16-year-old daughter was pregnant than if she was planning to get pregnant. It'd probably be scary either way, but just putting that out there. But anyway, it's a website full of a ton of different questions, and you can filter the questions, right? Like, I can look for YouTube and then search for things related to YouTube. And then look at that. How can I grow on YouTube? Is this money calculator legit or a phony? Look at this. All of this questions about YouTube. Huh. Remember how I was saying that in order for you to advertise yourself, you need to put yourself out there and you need to solve people's problems and develop a reputation? Well, here's an example of a website where you can search for a specific category. And then it's just a bunch of questions. People literally asking questions about the category that you searched for. Now, let's say I change this to OBS Studio. Okay? Oh, look at that. I have a course about OBS Studio. And this is a bunch of questions about OBS Studio. You getting what I'm talking about here? You understanding how simple it is to do free marketing? This is just one example of a website that you can interact with. And here's where it's tricky. Okay, not tricky, but here's where it's a little bit tedious, because you do have to interact with these websites pretty much every day. You got to spend like an hour every day for like a month answering questions, putting yourself out there, okay? And the bulk of your answer needs to be useful information. Then at the very end, you can be like, all right, if you want to learn more, check me out on YouTube, check me out on Udemy, whatever. You're not starting with that link, but you are making it technically possible that if they liked the information you provided, they're going to continue forward and get to know you, okay? So, let me show you an example. I think I've only done this once, because I just got into this kind of recently. My content, maybe? Nothing. Questions? Oh, answers. Here we go. Oh, nope. I got nothing. Maybe it was taken down. That sucks. But there was a post about YouTube, and it was super pessimistic. It was talking about how YouTube ad revenue is constantly changing, and you can't rely on YouTube because they make changes to their ad revenue, and creators feel like they have to only make videos about popular subjects to get paid, and it's all about getting sponsors and that kind of thing. But this, I found an incredibly pessimistic read, because from my perspective, the reality is that ad revenue represents one of the smallest and least effective ways for you to earn money from your YouTube channel. If you're earning $1,000 a month in ad revenue from your YouTube channel, you could be earning tens of thousands of dollars a month from having your own digital product that is relevant to your YouTube channel. You shouldn't just rely on ad revenue, right? So basically the whole premise of what I responded, I was like, look, that you don't have to just rely on ad revenue. Here are 5 other ways that you can earn money from YouTube. Okay, and then so I talked about sponsorship, I talked about consulting, I talked about having a course, I talked about software affiliation, and I talked about Patreon. Okay, these are all 5 ways that you can earn money from your YouTube channel, completely separate from your ability to monetize your videos with advertisement revenue, right? So if you want to live in a world where you don't have to just pick popular videos and you can make videos about other stuff, you're free to do that. YouTube gives you the flexibility to do anything you want. You just have to be able to kind of stand up for yourself and not just get used to doing what you think will earn you the most money. Because most of the time, the people complaining about this kind of stuff, what they're showing isn't a limitation of YouTube. It's a limitation of their own minds. Okay? And so that's it for that little marketing rant. I just wanted to encourage you guys to think that you are in a position where whenever you have some kind of product, you may think that you want to spend money on an advertising campaign, but really you should just be focusing on finding people on the internet with questions and answering their questions in a way where you get credit for that, where they know it's you answering that. They remember your name. They want to message you. They want to talk to you. They want to contact you. You want to be putting out all of these leads on the internet so that after a year or so, there's thousands of places where people can find out about you online. They could be reading an article about a specific problem and then like your answer and then learn that you exist because of it. They could be on YouTube and find one of your videos and learn that you exist because they found that video. They could be on Quora researching a subject and see that you have a couple different answers and follow you and like you because of the way that you respond and learn that you exist because of those answers. And that's the part that it all boils down to. People learning you exist. All right? All right, guys, so now let's switch this to gallery view. What's up, Ale? What's up, Bray? How you guys doing?
Hey, Jack. I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I am super happy. I was traveling for like a week. I was in Costa Rica, and I just got back to Nicaragua, and I've had a lot of momentum for like working and improving things, and I felt really happy. There's a lot of balance in my life. And I have a bit of space right now because my friends are visiting, so I'm like around people constantly, but they're actually gone for the weekend, so I have the house to myself. And normally, like in the past, I had a bit more of a lonely life, whereas now this whole year I've had the luxury of being around people whenever I want, all the time, for the entire year. I haven't really been alone at all. So at the moment, I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Awesome.
What about you,
What's
Bray?
up, Jack? Not much, man. Chilling. Doing great. It's raining over here today.
You're lucky. I love the rain.
Yeah. Doesn't do good for lighting though.
Well, yeah. Usually if the sky's like overcast, the lighting's pretty consistent at least. The problem I always have with recording in the rain is the sound. In this case, I can't tell that it's raining, but there's a couple times where I've lived in a house where like I can't record if it's raining because it's just like
Dang. Okay. Is that because of metal roof or?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I love that sound, so I can't say I was ever unhappy about it.
Right. It does make a cool sound. So what's going on for today? I see you jumping into some marketing. Is that from your research from Skillshare?
Yep.
Looking at those 3 courses.
Yeah. I took those courses, and they all effectively were like, there's ways to do it for free. You don't have to use marketing campaigns. There's ways to do it for free. You should try out these ways to do it for free. And the premise of all the ways to do it for free is find people asking questions, answer the questions, become useful, gain a reputation. So it's just like different websites. One thing I thought was interesting is like recycling content. So one of the Facebook marketing courses talked a lot about like using Pinterest as a source for content. So you go on Pinterest and you find content relevant to your niche, and then you literally just reshare it, because if it was shared a bunch on Pinterest and it looks pretty, then you know it already has a high like social value, so it'll do well if you reshare it. And apparently resharing, you don't have to worry about like copyright stuff, because you're not claiming that you created the content. You're just like showing where it came from, but you're still being useful to people because you're connecting them with it. So one of the courses was all about that. He was literally like, here, just go to Pinterest, find stuff related to this. Now go to Facebook, find Facebook groups, and share all these posts on these Facebook groups for like 1 or 2 months, and do it at like every other day, and then start sharing links to stuff. It's like, oh,
That's
cool.
just straightforward. I like that. I'm starting to looking at Skillshare courses. That's pretty cool.
Dude, Skillshare is great. I love it as a student. Hate it as a teacher, but love it as a student.
So you said you was able to use your account, get your courses back on there, or?
Nope. I just made a new
Okay.
account with here's a trick I'll show people in the live stream. So if you use Gmail, there's a wonderful nifty thing you can do. Basically, anytime you're signing up for a service, let's make a new Skillshare account, for example. We can go up here, we're going to sign out, and then we're going to sign up for a new account. And here we're going to just do same names, who cares, doesn't matter. And now for the email address, this is the moment, this is the trick. You use your regular email address, right? So my email address is jackdermotpittman and then @gmail.com. But before the @gmail.com part, you put a plus sign, and then you write whatever you want. So you can see that in the past here, I wrote Jack Dermot Pittman plus Skillshare @gmail.com. So what this does, it's actually your same email address. This is jackdermotpittman @gmail.com. That plus Skillshare part is basically ignored by Gmail, but it's not ignored by the service that you're signing up for. So you can literally have one email account and then just go, like my email account's Jack Dermot Pittman, right? So I go to Netflix and I'm like, Jack Dermot Pittman +1, Jack Dermot Pittman +2, Jack Dermot Pittman +3. These are, as far as Netflix is concerned, are all different emails, but they actually go to the exact same email account. So it's surprising how often you can just re-sign up for something and just put plus whatever, and then you usually get it. So this doesn't mean that you can just make new eBay accounts that way, obviously. It doesn't hide your IP address. It doesn't do any of that. But surprisingly, I can use Skillshare even though I got banned on it by doing this. I'm even using the same card that I was paying for Skillshare with. So I don't know. They just apparently don't have an effective system, or they haven't noticed yet. I don't even know. I've been using this account for over 2 months now because I did the thing to get a free trial in the beginning, and funny.
Yeah.
Dang, so you're writing out the free trial?
Yeah, I'm actually
That's
paying
good.
for it now, but in the beginning, yeah, I was writing out the free trial.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, by the way, Jack, there is another option where you can use the same Gmail account but with the multiple variations. Okay, let me share with you. Okay, so I will post a comment on YouTube and you can check the website.
Okay.
Yes, so the idea behind this website is that you enter your Gmail account, for example, jackpittman@gmail.com, and the website gives you the up to 500 email that referring to your email because Gmail,
What?
yeah, because Gmail is not counting the dots. For example, if your email address is
Oh.
jackpittman.com, you can put, for example, jack.pittman@gmail.com, and you can put
Yeah, so you could do
j.ack200.
J dots A dot C dot K dot.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, exactly.
So,
And if you test the website, you can just put your email there, and the website will give you up to 500 variation of the same email.
that's dope. So it's the same as the plus thing. There's other ways to
Yep,
do it.
yep, exactly.
That's
But I
wicked.
think I think it's working only for Gmail.
Yeah, as far as I understand that, like that's the same with the plus one. It's crazy
Yep,
how often there's just like a little trick you can do that just means you don't have to deal with a problem.
yep,
It's
exactly.
crazy. I'm gonna look at the chat real quick because while I was ranting about marketing, I wasn't looking at it.
And real quick, do you sell on Fiverr?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't really done anything with Fiverr. Mostly, like, I've wanted to, but it's so easy for me to find VAs because I can just make YouTube videos that I never really did. Um, yeah, but why do you ask the question? What's up?
I was just saying if you did like, did YouTube consulting on there or anything and had any experience
Oh,
selling on
I never
Fiverr.
thought about offering my services there. That'd be smart. That'd be another place. Oh, man, look at you giving me actionables.
Cool.
Offer.
Cause yeah, I sell on there and stuff and it's pretty cool and then just,
Yeah, I can set
seeing
up
if
like
anybody
a
has an experience.
portal for that. I'm just reading through these comments.
By the way, Braylon, how is it going with your business?
I do stock trading. That's what I do on the my little hustle. And it's going
Yeah,
all right.
awesome. So have you met your last week goals?
Nope, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tough market, but
Yeah, it's okay.
gotta be a little bit more patient.
Okay.
Somebody's asking a question about joining the live stream, so I'm just giving them some information.
Good. Dang, B was on here earlier and then he rode out.
Yeah, these get. I think Saturdays aren't really the best for him because he often takes his children to Super Smash Bros. Tournaments. He's such a fucking awesome dad, man. I wish I had
That's
a
what's
dad like
up.
that. um, but they're typically on Saturday. So as far as I know, it's like fairly common for him to like be able to be here for like 20 minutes and then have to leave, or like vice versa, where like he can't do something in the beginning, but then he'll join. He often watches them, but he's not always able to participate. That it's just a timing thing. I really like the Saturday calls more, just because it makes it more open for people to join.
True.
It's definitely nice. It's taken a while to get this call to the point where people will actually like join it and participate, and there's some regularity in the people who show up. Definitely in the beginning, like because technically I started I started this like 8 or 9 months ago, but when I started, it wasn't live streamed. It was recorded, and then I published it later. And I did that for like 8 episodes or something like that for like 2 months. And then I eventually realized, oh, I could just live stream. My YouTube channel doesn't have live streaming. That's like a giant hole in my existence, right?
Okay. And just plug it in. Bam, done.
Yeah.
2 in 1.
So, Ale, did you finish that course?
The sad part is that I started the course, but I still didn't finish it because it's a long course.
But you did
I
more of
still-
it?
What?
But you did more of it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, nice. How long is the course?
It's only 4 hours, but
Only?
Yeah, but it's because this is a programming course. It's not like a normal course.
Yeah, makes sense.
And yeah, but it's hard to finish a 4 hours course in programming field because programming has a lot of complications.
It's super heady.
Yep, exactly.
By
Yeah,
chance,
so
have you ever
so
followed the
goal
channel Quill
was
18?
unrealistic goal.
That's a learning lesson. That's something
Yeah.
that all of us have to get good at, is like, the purpose of setting these goals isn't to like to really push ourselves to do something that we have to like put tons and tons of effort into. It's to be able to be realistic with ourselves and know what is too much and what is something that we are probably actually going to be able to do. That's why usually goal-wise I encourage people to pick specific things that can be accomplished for like 10 to 30 minutes. That's usually better than having an arbitrary or vague numeric goal that requires loads and loads of different actions to actually complete. And also with a lot of numeric goals, there's often circumstances outside of your control that determine whether you're going to succeed or not. And really you don't want that, because if you don't meet your goal, then you're going to feel like you didn't gain momentum. And the point is to be able to accurately predict that you're going to do something and to do it, and then to feel better and to have more momentum and to just keep repeating that. Because really it's more about building momentum so that you can reliably do the things you set out to do. That's what is really important.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So maybe a better goal would have been watch the course, because you finished that, like you did it. You didn't complete the course, but you watched it more, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's good though. That's good. That's the momentum.
And
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
say that I actually only took 2 Facebook marketing courses. I didn't take 3, but I felt like I learned plenty, and I did a whole bunch of stuff about it. So I'm not worried.
Yeah,
Mostly
2 courses.
success.
Yeah, 2 courses are more than enough.
But for reference, every time I take a course, I pick courses that are between 30 minutes and an hour, and I watch them on double speed. So 4 hours is a lot. That's like 8 times as long as I would pay attention to a course. But I often watch courses twice. Like if I'm listening to something, like I'm listening to a course while I'm doing something, I'll listen to it on double speed and then listen to it again on double speed. And I find that I absorb more that way than listening to it once slowly. Because I need like a framework to expect what the person's going to talk about that. And I get that by rushing through it once. And then the second time, then it's like, ah, I really get it. Yo, B's here. What up, B?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You look warm.
Hopefully I'm not too loud. I look warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've trying not to run the heat. It's cold in Tennessee, but we're trying to keep from running that heat. How y'all doing, man? I was on earlier, had somebody downstairs, so I had to run, but no Smash tournaments, no tournaments this weekend. I think we're just gonna play tomorrow. But nothing going on today, so I ain't been able to catch y'all the last couple weeks, but Been busy, man. Y'all been sound like you've been busy and got things going on, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's been
Good, man.
exciting.
Good.
What have you been working on, B?
Uh, eBay mostly. Uh, eBay's been last month. I think I had probably one of the better months that I've had in a while. Normally, when the temperature cools down, a lot of my stuff's seasonal, summertime products. So normally by this time of the year, I'm getting a little bit nervous because sales go down and the bills stay the same. But last month I did probably more than it increased from the month, previous. And then the first week of this month is looking even better than last month. So it's just been, I'm good with it. Amazon's still putting out a little bit, which Amazon is about the same way. It's kind of seasonal. And a lot of times it falls off in the wintertime, but it's still putting out and still making good money every day. And I'm just trying to rat hole as much of it away as possible. Like I'm trying not to let the lifestyle creep where I feel like, now I got money, I can go spend money. I'm trying to just put it away, put it in the business checking account, and not touch it, so that eventually, when it does slow down, I'm not hurting. So y'all tell me if I'm too loud, man. I always worry about being too loud with this little
Oh, it's all good. I need
It's
to
great.
I need to watch the past recordings more, but I don't really pay that much attention to them, to be honest. It's a bit weird with audio problems because when people complain about audio problems, it's more often reflective of their individual audio setup than the actual recording or the video itself. Like there's certain times where there are problems in the video, right? But I personally have no concern about your audio being too loud, B. It's not something that I consider like a problem, if that makes sense. I'd rather
right.
people have audio that's too loud than audio that's not loud enough.
Sometimes I talk loud anyway, so I don't want to compound the problem by having my mic turned up too high and then being loud in everybody's ear. But yeah, you're right. When it's too low, that's a problem. When it's too high, at least you can turn the volume down. But
Yeah. So there's a couple things I actually wanted to consider going over with you guys. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and taking a lot of Skillshare courses and that kind of thing, particularly about like efficiency and marketing. And I've shared what I've learned about with the marketing. But I came across this pretty interesting concept where it's like, so what we've been doing is we establish one goal, right, that we talk about next week. And this is kind of just to give you something to think about while you're working and you feel like, oh, I told the people in the group this, so you feel a bigger sense of actually doing it, right? But I think we can draw that out more and we can make it a bit more effective. There was one guy in particular, and what he suggested is having like 3 things every week, 3 very specific things that you focus on. And he actually takes it further, so it's 3 things each week, and then each day there's 3 main things, and then in each of those 3 main things there's 3 sub things. But I don't want to do, that's a lot of things, right? But I do think for me personally, I would probably be better off and have a better effect from this group if every time I met, I was kind of required to come up with 3 specific things that I'm doing over the next week, even if they don't all happen. So I've come up with that for myself, but I'm not sure if coming up with 3 is something that would be good for everybody, because the reality is that coming up with 3 specific tasks that are relevant, that's pretty time consuming for us to like all communicate together and identify 3 actionables that are separate from one another, but are still leading towards something. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want to stick with 1 or do 3?
I mean, I would be good with 3. It just might be hard for people to do that spot on.
Well, the idea is like, okay, like Ali's last week. Ayush, well, I'll give you a chance in a second. I've actually never seen someone use the raise hand feature. I'm so blown right now. That's funny. So Ali's goal last week, for example, was to finish this course. But he could have had watch the course on Monday, watch the course on Wednesday, watch the course on Friday. That's 3 goals. 3 specific goals, right? So that's the kind of thing I'm trying to talk about. Not so much coming up with a whole bunch of different things that we need to do, but making
Okay.
sure that we can confidently say, okay, these are 3 specific things that I know would be good for me to do. Because what I pay a lot of attention to the weeks where I do more work and the weeks that I do less work. And typically the weeks where I do less work, it's because I don't have a clear concept of what I should be working on, what I want to be working on. When I make it very clear to myself, I need to work on this, this, and this, then I'm more likely to do it than if I don't have that concept clear in my head right now. And it's like the difference, like right now I have these things written down, but I don't have to read them to know what they are. That means I'm probably going to actually do them. Whereas if I have them written down, but I wasn't able to read them to you without looking at what I wrote down, that's an indication that I don't have a confident enough sense of what these tasks are for me to even have a chance at actually doing them, right? This is just food for thought. But what's up? What's up, Ayush? What do you think? If we can hear you, 1 second. We cannot hear you if you're talking. And I also cannot unmute you. And your hand's raised, but maybe you just clicked that for some other reason? Hey.
Yeah, few tips about free marketing.
Hey, we can hear you now. Awesome. Say it again.
Yeah, I was telling that. Can you tell me some free tips? Free tips, marketing tips. I want some free
Oh, for
tips on marketing.
marketing. Yeah. So I was talking about that in the beginning of this. And if you ever want to re-listen to anything in these live streams, you can go to my YouTube channel and then click on videos and click on live streams. And all of these live streams are published. So I'll explain some things to you real quick. But for this section of the call, I want to make sure we're focused on like the group dynamic. And so because I just spent like 20, 30 minutes talking about free marketing tips, I'm going to encourage you to just rewatch the beginning of that video instead of talking about it for 20, 30 minutes again. But basically, what are you trying to market?
I was just going to start drop shipping, and I've spent money on Facebook ads, but I was not getting the results. So now I'm thinking to use some free marketing tips, right?
Okay. What products are you drop shipping? What specific things are you trying to market?
I was trying to market fashion products, right? But it
Okay.
was not working.
So you're trying to market something that is ludicrously competitive. You're competing with hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. So keep that in mind. The chance of you finding success marketing, like making ads for fashion products that other people own, it's not impossible, but it's super hard, really challenging. You want to have a product that's more unique because you need to be able to identify the people you're marketing to, and you need to have a specific product that's relevant to these people. Because to do free marketing, you need to focus on finding a product. Next, you need to imagine what demographic of people would be interested in this product. After you've imagined that, you need to know what problems do these people have? How can I be useful? How can I make this product seem like it's a solution to these problems? You need to be very confident in all of these things before you can expect any kind of results from marketing. Don't fall for the common traps with drop shipping or Shopify stores where people think that you can just put $100 into an advertising campaign and get sales, because like historically it doesn't work. You lose money that way. But I would encourage you, it sounds like you're looking into marketing, but you should be looking into understanding a more specific product. Fashion products in general, that's a huge scene, like huge, absolutely huge. It's not very specific really. So maybe if you have a specific website with fashion products, that's a bit more specific, but it sounds like you should do more like narrowing down, if that makes sense. Any thoughts?
I think you should go after a micro niche, not a big niche.
Yeah, I was also thinking about that. I should focus on some micro niche.
Awesome.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, if you're going to drop ship, you got to be into something that's super niche. You can't. If you try to go broad, it's got to be just insanely pinpointed down to a certain customer base, I guess, is my thoughts on it. But as far as the goals, Jack, if everybody's on Skillshare, man, we ought to all watch the same course on Skillshare, and then
That'd be cool.
do like, you know what I mean? So like when you're setting goals, if everybody's got different things, then we're all over the place. But maybe like if we are all on Skillshare, if we watch the same course or whatever, even if it's somebody else's course, you know, a creator that you know or something like that, or, you know, however it goes. But if we did watch all the same content and then come back and like, okay, here's what we're learning about today or going to focus on today or whatever. Because I mean, I'm sure they got online marketing Skillshare courses where you could be
definitely.
like, okay, we're going to work on online marketing this week and next week, and we're going to try to complete this Skillshare course and do the project. And everybody on the call has got the same goal in general, at least anyway. You know, I mean, what you get from it would be different and you can apply it to your situation. But as far as coming on here and, you know, talking about what we did or what the goal was or whatever, just a thought. I was just sitting here
that's
thinking.
Interesting. That's
definitely cool.
So what I'm thinking in response to that is that we could try not even worrying about having a task established and have each week one of us picks a course that everybody else will take, and we'll make sure that like we'll put some time restriction on it so it's more likely that we'll actually take them. Like we'll limit them to like less than an hour courses. Basically, there's tons of options that are less than an hour. And it's, I think, kind of okay to, that's like if you're watching double speed, 30 minutes, regular speed, 1 hour per week. So I think that might be reasonable. And then that would also foster more conversations in between us about a specific subject, which might make us understand it better. And then I agree that each of us is going to have different ways that we integrate that into our personal lives, but maybe that'll give the group kind of more cohesion. I'm definitely I'm down to try that for sure. I personally know that I'm doing this three things per week that I'm focusing on thing, regardless. But for this call, I'm definitely happy to try lots of different things, and I like that idea. What do you guys think?
That is awesome idea. That was really good thinking. Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely come up with 3 things, but I'd have to think about it beforehand, but I would need to take a Skillshare course on how to set goals before you know what I mean? I mean, if you've never been taught how to set goals and achieve a goal, it's hard for people, even me right now. And I feel like I study as much of this stuff as I can, But even now, it's like, okay, which goal is the most important goal? Because
Yeah.
you can set goals all day long, but if they're not the things you need to be doing, you're just spinning your wheels. Jim Rohn always talks about, you write down 10 goals, and there ain't but 2 of them that are worth even doing, and the rest of them you either delegate or eliminate. It's the 80-20 rule. But I mean, even taking a Skillshare course, I'm sure there's courses on goal setting or,
Oh, there's tons. Yeah. I can think of
um,
one right now by the CEO of Skillshare that's like 15 minutes and is directly relevant to what we're doing. So maybe that'll be the starting one.
well, that's the thing is, I mean, you could start somewhere and on a simple course, and I mean, and then you put your Skillshare link in the description, and if people want to follow along with us as we watch these Skillshare videos,
Hmm.
then whoever you can
They'll
benefit
be
from.
learning too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. I'm down for this. I think this is any thoughts, Ale or Ayush?
I don't really have any talks like this. This is an amazing talk. You can't really compete with it.
Do you have access to Skillshare, Ale? I can get you access if you need it.
Okay. So yeah, by the way, I wanted to ask you, does they still offer the 2 months trial period?
I think so. Yeah, you don't. So now when you refer people, you don't get paid for it. I don't think. You just get like time on Skillshare or something once they actually
no,
pay.
no, I think you still get paid for it.
You do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it must be
$10.
you have to be a teacher to get paid for it. And if you're not a Skillshare teacher, then you
Yeah,
just get time on Skillshare.
that's
Um,
true.
but yeah, I believe they still do the trial. I believe so.
Oh, okay, great.
So does everybody have Skillshare access then? That's something we should verify.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool, awesome. I know I'll pick the first course, and then next week we'll talk, and then we can maybe. Okay, it's probably better that we all like browse and talk together, and then come up with what course we want to take as a group versus one person picking. What do you guys think?
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. You want to throw some links in the Discord or wherever to check it out, and we pick one. I mean, um, it can either be a topic or you know, however you want to pick it, by topic or by um. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with pretty much anything because I mean, I love watching the courses, but even sometimes finding the course that you want to watch is a
Tricky.
job in itself. But
Yeah, it's true.
um, and I watch most of them like you, Jack, on double speed or 1.25 speed or whatever. Depends on how the person talks. If they talk
Yeah.
slow, I'll put it on double speed, man, and I'll watch the whole Skillshare course. But
Okay, so I'm going to send this, or I'll send a link to this course to you guys. This course is 23 minutes, and
like to
it's
kinda share some notes.
by the creator of Skillshare, or the founder of Skillshare. Personally, I'm nowhere near as organized as this guy, and there's a lot of things he recommends that I don't care about. But the one thing he did talk about was this concept of focusing on 3 things per week, and really like making sure that you can at any given moment say, okay, these are my 3 things. So that really helped me because I that's what gave me the train of thought that made me realize that I can predict when I'm not going to do something because I can tell that I don't remember it very clearly. So the chance of me doing it is unlikely. Whereas when I know something with certainty, Like one of the things I'm working on this week is making a consulting ad where I offer the first consultation session be for free, because I did this by accident recently and it worked really well, and it made me realize this is how all consulting works. Why am I ignoring this fundamental like thing that all consultants do that I don't do, right? So that's just one example of something. But I know I'm going to do that because it's very clear to me. I know exactly what it is. I'm confident in it. But having 3 things per week to focus on, I think, is good. But yeah, I will send a link here, and then also in the Discord.
And is Ale, is he your VA, Jack?
Yeah, well, right now, I don't do any work with him. I've been telling him I'm going to make a video about something, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, that's how we know each other in the beginning.
Well, I've gotten 3 prospects on VAs from the video we did a couple weeks ago, and I've talked to 2 of them back and forth a couple times, but I've realized that I'm not prepared to. I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be to have them set up to do work.
Okay.
I've still got to figure out how to get them access to the accounts. I need them, how to get them the information either with a third-party software or actually giving them access to my accounts, which makes me very nervous about somebody from a foreign country accessing my eBay or my other supplier websites.
Okay.
And I guess a VPN takes care of that, and then third-party eBay software takes care of that. But I'm trying to be totally honest with the guys that I'm talking to about doing the VA work for me, that it is going to be a slow process because I'm going to have to ease into it and get them to do small stuff first and then build a little bit of a relationship. And then maybe hopefully down the road, yes, they are listing for me directly from the supplier onto eBay. But I'm just so scared to get flagged or get, something, I don't want to do something in eBay.
Well, so in eBay now you can do that authorized user thing. I encourage you to look into that, because you didn't used to be able to do that before, but now you can like go into part of your eBay account, add an authorized user, and then eBay knows, okay, this eBay account has enabled this virtual assistant to access their account. So even if they access it from like a weird place, you're less likely to get in any kind of flag. And just for reference, you can call eBay. You have Anchor Store, right? I don't remember.
No,
No,
I
you
just
don't.
have a premium.
You can call eBay and talk to them, but in general, they're supportive of virtual assistants. They understand that eBay sellers can use virtual assistants to offer a better customer service experience and to gain more control over their business. So realistically, the problems that could come up would just be eBay maybe thinks your account's being accessed, and then they want you to do a one-time password to your cell phone or something to verify that it's authorized. Realistically, that's the problem that might happen. It's not like your account would get suspended or banned because this VA logs into it from a weird IP address.
Yeah, and
There is a bit
those are
of
the
possibility if it's a VA that's worked with a lot of people's accounts and they've fucked things up, then like maybe they're flagged, but there's ways to mitigate all of it, so you don't have to worry about it.
I'm not sure how to question them or interview them to build trust. You know what I mean? I don't know what to ask them or what to talk about with them, because I feel like, most people are genuine and honest, but you just never know. So, I mean, I am planning on what I plan on doing is I've got these 3 guys, and I think I'm going to give them all the same task, and then, get them 2 hours or 4 hours to work on that one task, and then have them all report back to me what they come up with, what they accomplished or whatever, and then kind of go from there and see who's you know,
That sounds
how they
smart.
do it, how quick they do it, how thorough they are, whatever.
And
It's kind of my thought right now, but I'm just trying to figure out how to get started, because I feel like once I get started, then it'll really start to roll. But
yeah, then you'll be fine. In general, I didn't worry about interviewing or any of that. All I tested was their ability to follow instructions. So I would start with having a task and then see how they did it. And yeah, I would do exactly what you're talking about.
and I mean and it's probably a dumb question or amateur question, I know, but uh, folks in the Philippines and Costa Rica and wherever else, they've got access to Google and the same internet. Like they can look up addresses in the United States or anything in the
Yeah.
United States. I mean, they can look up anything, right? So like if I wanted to give them a task of contact or researching these companies and getting me all their contact info, and then build me a spreadsheet with business names, addresses, emails, owners, how many employees, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they
I
can.
want to,
There's nothing technically stopping them from doing that.
and
It would be an individual language ability thing, but aside from that, yeah, there's no reason they couldn't do that from the Philippines. I mean, I
and,
do that from Nicaragua. I call people with Google Voice. I email people. I view the internet. Like, you know.
and that's something I could do that they don't have to have access to anything. They can just go and collect emails and addresses and business names and report back. I mean, that was like one of the things I'm thinking about getting all three of them to do would be like, all right, here's the criteria. I want you to search this state, and this state for these businesses and gather all that information, put it into one document, and send it to me.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at as far as
that would be perfect introductory task too, because you don't have to give them any account login. You just make sure you make a video that states what you want, or at least that's what I would always do. Maybe you make a training document, whatever, and then you just give it to them, and then you see how they do. You see how prompt they are. You see how they communicate with you, and then you make a decision based on how that works.
that's what's up. That's what I'm gonna do. I've been trying to watch videos and get my thoughts straight, but you know how it is. You get so much stuff going on. That's what I'm saying. It's studying about setting goals and staying on task. All that just very basic stuff is so important, because life gets so complicated that it's like, oh yeah, you know, I got all these things I want to do, but life gets busy and you don't get nothing done. So it's like, yeah, I mean, just specific, whether it's one thing or three things or an accountability group, you know, it's great to make progress. So
Yeah, one thing that helps me is constantly watching somebody that will motivate me. That helps out.
yeah, I stay on the YouTube motivational videos, whether it's Jim Rohn or Bob Proctor or Zig Ziglar or
Dan Pena.
Dan Pena or whatever. They always seem to get my mind right. So
Good, good. Got any comments on YouTube?
Let's
no, you're
see.
checking the live comments. I'll tell you one thing that I've done in the past month that I wish I'd have done 5 years ago was getting my iMac desktop, because having all Apple stuff, the iPhone, the iPad mini, which is what I use to take my photos, the iMac, which is the desktop, and then I even went and bought a MacBook Air so that I could take my computer with me. Because for the first 4 or 5 years, I was running my business off of a HP Pavilion laptop that was like running Windows 7 and super slow. Like I couldn't do hardly anything on it, you know. But if I would have known my productivity would double basically with just the purchase of
A nicer
a
laptop.
yes, Apple. Now that everything's Apple, I can airdrop from the iPad mini, which is how I take my photos. It airdrops and shows up straight on the iMac, and it's just a click of a button. I never have to close the listing. Before, I'd have to start the listing on eBay on my laptop and save it as a draft. Then I had to go over to the picture station, take the pictures, upload them close that, open my phone, upload the pictures on my phone, save that as a draft, and then reopen it on the laptop so that the pictures would show up. That was the only way I could get them on the laptop, which was dumb in itself. But I don't know, just productivity, man, is key. And this has sped me up so much. Like, I've got so much more time. I've been getting up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and by 11 or 12 o'clock, it's like, man, this is 3 o'clock when I'm finished. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm trying to get done by 12 or 1. I normally pick my kids up around 2:30 or 3. And a lot of times it's pushing it right up until there. But ever since I've spent the money, which I'm taking off my taxes this year, which hopefully helps me out, tax write-off.
Business expenses.
Yeah, man. I mean, but it has increased my productivity and made everything so much easier. Computer runs better. Everything's all in one place. If I go somewhere, it's either on my phone or the laptop. But anyhow.
That brings up another tangent I'd like to go on real quick. Probably won't be too long. But it's about, for me personally, I've been focusing a lot on my priorities over the past week or two. And specifically, there's two kind of things I've been addressing. One is something that I've been aware of for like years, and that's that I think about my business interests at the wrong points in the day. Like when I first wake up, I'm almost always not interested in doing anything. I don't feel excited about stuff. So I often make the mistake of spending time in this state thinking about YouTube or Udemy or whatever, and it makes me feel pessimistic. It makes me feel bothered because I'll think, oh, last night I was so excited about doing this YouTube thing, but now I don't care, that it makes me like lose momentum, right? So I've been trying to figure out, how can I prevent myself from spending time thinking about things in this state, right? And also, I want to be working a bit more effectively. Like, I don't want to be working all the time, but I want to be doing more things each day that make my future better and make me feel more happy. I want to figure out how to do this. And in the past, I had tried to focus on doing those things. I told myself, okay, I know what the things are, so just do them. But that historically doesn't work super well. I'm not able to just make myself do things. I usually have to trick myself some way. So the past week, I've been prioritizing my environment and cleaning. And I realize now that I can literally, as long as I confidently know what these three things are, I can forget about everything work-related and business-related and just always ask myself, is the kitchen clean? Is my room clean? And if the answer is no to either one of those, I don't even have to think about anything. I can't even think about business. No point in even bothering with it. Because what I find is that if I spend my energy focusing on cleaning the kitchen and cleaning my room, I just find myself working. I don't have to make myself work. It just happens. Whereas if I try and force myself to work, I don't clean, I end up procrastinating other things, and then I feel crappy. And sometimes I force myself to work, but it usually doesn't come from a place of enjoying the work. Whereas if I really focus on these environments, then I literally just find myself working. I don't have to force myself to do anything. I just am working on the thing that I want to because I maintained an environment, and that puts you in this state where you are progressing things. And usually when I'm not working, it's because I'm in the habit of not being active. I don't have momentum. So by simplifying my life and just telling myself, okay, the only thing I really have to focus on is making sure my room's clean and making sure the kitchen's clean. That's it. That's super easy. I don't have to think too much about anything past that. Because as a person, as long as I focus on that, even if I spend 2 or 3 hours cleaning up and cleaning up after other people, I then do what I need to do without even having to think about it, without putting it off, without doing any of that. So it's ironic because for me, in order to get myself to do the things that I want to do that make me happier, I have to focus on not focusing on them. And I have to do other things. I have to trick myself in that way. And that's something that recently I found a lot of progress, because in the past, I would always be like, yeah, I know that my environment affects me, but I'm not going to prioritize cleaning my room over making a YouTube video. I'm going to make the YouTube video first. Whereas this past week or two, I've literally told myself, no, I'm not allowed to make the YouTube video. I'm not even allowed to think about that. I have to make sure my room's clean and make sure the kitchen's clean. After that, even if it takes 3 or 4 hours, then I can move forward and do some kind of work. And typically, that is the most effective way for me to build momentum. However, I think this also has a lot to do with my lifestyle, because I have complete and total freedom all day. So it's different if you have a lot of commitments and you don't have very much time. Then it's not that simple. You can't just focus on cleaning, because then you need to go to sleep. You didn't do your work, you know? Whereas I have the luxury of not worrying like that. I can focus on cleaning, and I can't spend so much time cleaning that I don't have time to spend on my work, because I have enough time. So, but I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it's something I've found a lot of progress in. Like, I didn't realize, but when my room's messy, when there's cables, when there's like random dirty stuff hidden in closets and cabinets, I was aware of this without realizing it, and it was holding me back, and my brain was spending energy on it, and it was making me feel stressed, and I didn't know. And as like the act of clearing those problems, again, I just find myself then doing something productive, and I don't even have to think about it. It just happens, and it's great.
You
Way
really,
easier.
you really got to trick your mind, man, because the unconscious mind it controls you whether you know it or not. Because you can read a book or take a course, and it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do. They've laid it all out here for me, and then 10 minutes later, your subconscious mind is got you eating junk food and
It's
drinking.
fucking you up.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a constant battle. Like, I'm trying to get to the point where every decision I'm making myself,
Oh my god.
trying to make myself think about that decision, each individual decision. I mean, I got bad habits. I know there's stuff I do that I need to cut out. It's very clear that this stuff, is not productive. It's not good, whatever. But your subconscious mind just runs you, man. And if you're not aware of that, then you'll just go through life doing whatever you were programmed to do as a little kid. Whatever environment you grew up with. If people were bad with money when you were coming up, your subconscious mind is programmed to lose all your money, whether or self-sabotage or whatever. So you got to get out of your programming, because we were all programmed from a kid, whether it's your environment or your parents or whoever raised you. All them habits and all them thoughts are built into you. And if you can raise your awareness to be like, okay, just because that's the way they did it for 30 years, it's not the way I'm going to do it. So it's all about the little individual decisions that can make your life better. But man, it's hard. The subconscious mind, man, it's crazy, man. It does.
It's
It controls you, man.
It does, man. It does. It's crazy. And that's the only thing that's keeping me from growing my account is my subconscious mind. I'm doing things without even realizing it. And it's just so crazy. I just can't believe it. I literally have to be conscious of my thoughts at every freaking second. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. You do have to find tricks to trick your mind into doing exactly what you want it to do.
And adding positive habits instead of trying to deny myself of the bad stuff or the unproductive stuff seems to work better to me. Like, okay, if I say, oh, I'm not going to do this today, if I don't have something else to do, what do I end up doing? I end up doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. But if I've got, okay, today we're doing this positive activity and we're not even going to think about the other thing, then it gives me something to focus on to where I actually get it done and stay focused on that instead of just reverting back to autopilot and doing the same crap that ain't, it hadn't been helpful at all, so. But I'm with you on the cleaning, man. I mean, you can see I've got stuff everywhere, bins. I've been listing. I've been doing eBay and Amazon, and I've been really going hard on trying to find new sources for products, like scouring eBay, scouring Google search results, looking for stuff I can get to come to me, because I don't want to do the thrifting and running around and the one-offs. I want the products to come to me. I mean, I tripped my brother out the other day. I got a package in. I told him, I showed it to him, and I paid I think I paid $55 for it. Bought it on eBay. Brought it upstairs, listed it, and in 4 hours it sold on Amazon merchant fulfilled for, I think, like $95 or $98.
Nice.
So after fees, it was like a $28 or $30 profit. And that night I took it back down there and I showed him. I was like, look, man, it come in today. I listed it. I'm going to put it right back in the same box. I'm going to cover their label up. I'm going to put my shipping label on it, and it goes out the door. And that's $30 clear money for not doing nothing. That's just the work of finding it and ordering it and having it shipped here.
Yeah, the
and
scalable work.
Yeah, and listed on a different platform with a better margin. Of course, I listed on eBay and Amazon, but it sold on Amazon, which I was surprised. And even some of my products that sell good, I'm trying to find other suppliers, whether it's Alibaba or whether it's eBay or whether it's a search result on Google. Because I don't know how some of these people, I mean, I've got suppliers that I can't get the products as cheap as the people are selling them on eBay. And my guys are supposedly wholesalers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's going on?
That don't make any sense to me. I'm like, okay, y'all are a wholesaler, and this is the best you can do on this item here, but somebody's selling it on Amazon FBA for cheaper than what I can buy at wholesale. So how are they making money? Where are they getting it to where they can pay the Amazon fees and still make a profit? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's crazy.
That sounds like the perfect kind of work, though. That's what Chris is trying to reorient his whole business around, is how can you resell stuff that gets shipped to you. But because he runs a YouTube channel, it's really easy. Now he just gets people to ship him shoes. He just paid like $17,000 for like 54 packages of shoes.
And it takes, I bought $1,700 worth of stuff off this guy on eBay. He was selling some stuff that I was interested in. He had about 80 different listings, and I was interested in a couple of them, but then I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to hit him. I'll buy your whole stock. And it just blew his mind. He was like, oh, I don't know what you're thinking. I've got a few of them, but if you're thinking bigger, we've got even more that's not even listed. And I'm like, oh man, okay. And he sent me some pictures of it, and I was like, dude, if we can, I beat him down on the price just a little bit. I was like, well, I'm kind of worried about this and worried about that. And what if they get damaged in shipping? I hit him with all these little things and kind of knocked him down. And I ended up doing the deal. It was like 76 or 80 items for like $1,700. And I used a credit card. I got a credit card with a good limit, 5% cash back, and I run everything through that credit card. So
5% cash back's awesome. That's great.
Oh, it's crazy, man. I've been maxing out the cash back on the Discover card. I think you can only do it 4 times a month or 4 times a year. It's like $300 max or something, but it's always good to look on there and just see the cash back from money you were spending just to do what you do anyway. So, but that deal that I did with that guy led me into, in the future, he's going to hit me up first. So it's like, man,
Yeah.
I worked it out to where I didn't lowball him so hard that he didn't want to mess with me no more. But now I've done one deal with him, which is a big deal for a lot of people. I mean, that's, a good amount of money to get or spend either way. And so now it's like, dude, when you get more, you hit me up first instead of listing all this stuff. Save your time. We'll do one bulk listing. I'll buy it all. And some of the stuff I take a loss on. Some of the stuff I break even on. But I know the niche good enough to where I can look at it in its entirety and be like, okay, even if I got to sell those 20 and break even, then the other 50
It's
are going to
free.
be guaranteed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's once the money just becomes part of the process and not like, I got to go into my drawer and get all, my bill money and risk it on this. That's a totally different thing. Once you get past spending your own income or your own money that you need to survive, once you got a way to buy stuff basically on credit, for me, that just changes the game because I'm confident enough that I can at least break even. And as long as I can break even, there is no risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, if I'm confident that I can break even or minimize worst case scenario, minimize the loss, I'm in, man. I'm buying stuff from China and eBay and everywhere. If I think I can make $1 on it,
Yeah,
my
especially
profit
if it's
margin,
shipped to you. That's awesome.
yeah, and my profit margin has went down the past 2 or 3 months because I've been buying more stuff with less margin. Used to, it's like, oh, if I'm not making this amount of money, then it's not worth it. But if it's coming right to me, and now that I've got my listing to where I can just list it quick, I mean, I had them 80 items listed in probably 4 or 5 hours. So I don't know. It just, it can work, man. It can work. I mean, it can all work. It just all depends on if you can stick with it. But I don't mean to keep rambling. Y'all can jump in and save me anytime.
I'm actually. I was going to give another chance for anybody to talk about anything or finish up, but I'm getting pretty tired. I want to end the stream pretty soon.
No, it's good. I was just seeing when we're just gonna do the course study. Is gonna be this week or next week?
Yeah, so I sent a link to the course to the Discord group. So if you just
Okay.
go there, then you can click on it. And so this course will talk about that 3 thing. So if you want to set up 3 tasks, that would be good. But really, from my perspective, if you take the course, then next week we can all talk about the course. It's like a book club, except a course club, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
All right.
I think it'll be cool if we're all on, watching the same course. Because I even struggle with that. I mean, I've got Skillshare, but I get to where I get tired of searching for stuff to watch, or I just
Yeah.
don't think about it. You know what I mean? But uh,
Do you
we
ever,
can, get on the same page and suggest videos and watch videos, and then it gives us all something to talk about, and then each one of us will go a different way with as far as applying it.
applying it? Yeah, I like this. I'm happy with it.
Yep, this is great. All right, guys.
Any thoughts, Ali?
Nope, not really. But the idea is pretty good because I am, it's. I don't want to talk about what I'm doing right now because it's a little bit secret project, but it's directly have a relation between internet marketing in general. So it's a really good thing to watch the Skillshare courses and to talk with you guys about anything that we learn from these courses.
Wicked. All right, everybody. I guess I should look in the live chat real quick, see if there's any other questions. Nope. Oh, someone asked if I'm still in Nicaragua. Yes! I live in Nicaragua. Okay.
Man, I've been watching so many videos. I've got onto Mark Wien's Food Guy. I don't know if you ever seen his YouTube channel, but he just travels the world eating food and making videos about it, and he gets
What a
paid,
life.
and he's sponsored, and they show. And I always think about you, Jack. They show the cost of food. You know, this dude will be eating a mega sandwich. You know, and he's like, "Oh, and it was 67 cents," and I'm like, "Oh my god, man! If I can
God,
figure
dude.
out how to make U.S. dollars and go live in a country like that, then I don't have to work ever again, man.
Yeah.
Like, then it's just a matter of finding stuff to do in that country that, you know." But anyway, I love it. The entrepreneur life, man. I'm all in.
Me too, man. All right, guys. Thanks for all joining. If you're watching, see you next week. Ciao.
Peace.
Bye, guys.